Yeah, they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate. I'm way up, way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down. No, got a soul view to myself. Yeah, why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Squatting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself. Yeah. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. Yeah, I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate. Ooh, yeah, why they wanna put me down? So much drip, yeah, I almost drowned in it. I can't come it down. Yeah, I'm way too fired up. I can't slow it down. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I see the flashing lights. Make sure the fashion right. Yeah, I'm in my bag tonight. Yeah. Ooh, I might just pull up before it. Watch out, the engine is roaring. It's too loud, you can ignore it. Yeah, yeah. This the highlights for the view. You get to have it all, no need to choose. First, let me demonstrate how you can rise to the top. Yeah, I had to elevate, 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 elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate.
Oh, salute, ATP. It's your boy Rain. And we back at it again, real quick, last minute live. You know what it is. I'm not expecting a lot of people to pop up in this one. I did notice the traffic is crazy outside right now. Everybody got something to say. And why not? Boxing got a lot of stuff going on. And, you know, it's a lot of things going on, a lot of last minute situations popping up. I thought I'd pop up, show some love. Salute Devontae Richardson. You all right? We got a couple people in here. Maybe they'll seep in. You know what I mean? A couple people from the other channels come seep in. Let's see what we're talking about. Wanted to touch up on a couple of things real quick. You guys know I ran one all day with Blue today, and you know we did what we did on there. But I wasn't going to even come up tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't going to even come up. I was going to take the night off and chill, but be so like, you know what I mean? I'd just probably be wrong of me, you know what I mean? And there are things that I wanted to politic about. Faithful bunch, always going to be. For sure, Devontae, that's for sure. Devontae, that's for sure. Salute to everybody in the building. Please remember to hit the like button when you come into the building. Blaze, salute, King, salute. Yeah, man, I wanted to share some perspective. We got things going on in the space right now, man, and we got to talk about it, right? We got to talk about it. You know what I mean? I wanted to touch up on a few things. Let's see here. Right now, what are the two hot topics right now in the game right now? We got Brian Norman Jr. and Boots Ennis beating around the bush trying to figure out how they're going to bring that together. You got the WBO who's gone ahead and activated a mandatory, told Sebastian Fedora time to shit will get off the pot, right? You know, right? We got that going on. We got other news in the 130-pound weight class division as O'Shaquie Foster finally gets that rematch that he deserves, in my opinion, with Conceição. This is supposed to be on November 2nd. That's definitely a piece of news right there. And I also wanted to build a little bit on the Keyshawn Davis, Gustavo Lemos fight and how important this fight is. And we can go in a little bit on the Diego Pacheco Sulecki fight as well, coming up on Saturday night. Another significant fight. I don't think a lot of people are talking about it and putting it in the right light about how significant that fight is for the 168-pound weight class division. It really is, guys. And we're going to talk about all that. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and get right into let's get into the Pacheco Sulecki fight, right? While everybody's coming in here, only the real boxing fans is really going to care about this fight, right? They're not talking about it like that. They're not putting it. I don't see people talking about it too much, right? But this weekend, Diego Pacheco headlines an event in Los Angeles against his first, in my opinion, really experienced 168-pound contender. Now, this guy is not like that big of a star. He's had some experience. Sulecki, you know what I'm saying, has some experience. He's fought Dimitri Andre. He's fought Danny Jacobs. You know what I mean? Those are actually the only two losses he has on his record. So a really experienced guy, that Eastern European boxing style. These guys from Poland. And he's going to be standing in front of Diego Pacheco this weekend. Diego Pacheco coming off of a lackluster performance. You guys saw it when he was fighting against Sean McCalman, excuse me. Gave him a run for his money, slick boxer, and really just found a way to like really smother Diego Pacheco's best offense and also just make the fight a war of attrition where Diego kind of had to sit down and figure it out. This is kind of normal, right? When these boxers are coming up to go through this, when they're having all that success, knocking everybody out, being able to keep everybody at the end of their punches, and then they run into that boxer that evolves them, right? And I feel like this last fight that Diego had, it helped evolve him a little bit. And I'm interested to see how he was able to pull whatever lessons he learned in that fight and bring him into this fight right now with a real disciplined Eastern European boxer, right? I really want to see what that looks like. What we got him here. What's goody Pop Shop talking the building? What's good, family? I really want to see how Diego processes this and brings this forward, because this guy right here is not going to go anywhere, right? He's never been really stopped before. If Diego can pull off something real spectacular this weekend, a real exciting performance, and dare I say stop Mr. Maciej Sulecki, this really is going to put him in the conversation of the Canelo sweepstakes, right? And even if it's not the Canelo sweepstakes, right, because you know how Canelo operates, he's not guaranteed to even be in the division after this fight. He could be fighting Terrence Crawford. Who knows what he might be doing after this Edgar Berlanga fight? And that's assuming that he wins that fight. Most of us are assuming he's going to win that fight, but this definitely puts 168 in a different perspective, because we got to remember David Benavidez has moved up to 175, right? David Morrell's moved up to 175. So it's opened up a little bit. Jaime Munguia was the last person really to give Canelo Alvarez that run for his money. And let's keep it real. Like, he's probably the number one or number two guy in the division right now. Over Edgar Berlanga, because a lot of people don't believe Edgar Berlanga even deserves to be in the position that he's in. But who's he going to dance with? Who's Jaime going to dance with? We just saw Christian and Billy throw a decent performance up about 2-3 weeks ago, right? It was decent, but he can't hang there by himself. 168 has to develop, and Diego Pacheco is probably going to fill in that spot, right? He's probably going to check the boxes and be able to call out one of these big names if he's able to perform on Saturday and really show out in a great way. Standing, I think he's like 6'5", 6'4". Don't quote me, but this is a real tall guy, like 84 inch arm reach. He has a lot of those physical attributes, like let's say Sebastian Fundora, except unlike Sebastian Fundora, this guy really uses his physical attributes. He really controls the distance. He uses his long legs. He makes whoever's in front of him really work hard to get at him, and he's usually able to capitalize off that. This guy Sulecki, I'm expecting him to give him a test that he's never had. Somebody's going to take his time. He has that Eastern European boxing amateur background. He's going to bring that to the table, and I think that's going to make a big difference in his fight. But it's going to be a great fight this weekend. I hope you guys take the time to go ahead and watch it. And there's also a great cruiserweight fight on that card as well. I can't remember the guy's name. What is his name? I'm not going to sit here and have a brain fart on the camera in front of you guys on this damn live. You know what I'm saying? Salute to legacy over currency. Defined mindset. Love that name, by the way. Defined mindset. For sure. Wasn't Lara Lara's supposed to be fighting. Lara, you talking about Erzlandi? Lara? Pop Shop? If you're talking about him, he's actually fighting on that Canelo card. He's fighting on that Canelo card, right? He's going to be fighting Danny Garcia. If that's the same Lara I'm thinking about that's fighting, right? I don't know. Yeah. He's fighting on the Canelo Alvarez card. He's going to be fighting Danny Garcia on that card on September 14th. So no, he's not going to be fighting this weekend. You know what I mean? So salute Detroit, BC in the building. Salute, King. Salute. All right. And tonight's not live. Ain't going to be crazy long. No, I mean, I might open the panel a little bit later, but really want to get at a couple of topics and really get at the main topic I really want to get out is that Terrence Crawford situation, as well as the Brian Norman, Boots Ennis. I got a lot to say about that at this point. I told you guys let me not jump the gun. Let me not jump the gun. All right. No, why not? Let's jump the gun. Let's jump the damn gun. Boots Ennis and Brian Norman Jr. at this point. I told you guys in the beginning, if you don't remember, I told you guys a couple of videos back. I've always preached it. I don't know which video it is, but how I feel about Boots Ennis being at 147 pounds. The man is a generational talent, right? Granted, he hasn't been in there with the opponents that we want to see him in there with, so we can see him properly tested, so he can be properly crowned who I think he really is. And I don't think anybody, I'll be honest with you, I don't think anybody at 147 pounds is going to give him that test. But listen, if he was able to get undisputed at 147, then it is what it is, right? If he's able to get undisputed at 147, then it is what it is. But let's be honest at this point. With the amount of adversity, right, resistance that 147 pounds has given Boots Ennis on not only just getting good fights, but actually getting a title, unifying his titles, getting on that road to undisputed. At this point, you got to ask yourself, and I would hope that the Ennis team is asking themselves, how much more of this can we take? Guys, how much more of this are we going to watch? And I've gotten to the point now to where it looks like we're going to see Boots Ennis fighting Karen Kukadashi. That's what it looks like is about to happen, guys. Call it what you want to call it. That's what it looks like is about to happen. And who's ready to see Boots go down this path right now? I'm not. I don't want to see that fight again. I know Boots doesn't want to see that fight again. Now, Eddie Hearn and Boots Ennis came together. We all thought that Eddie Hearn was going to be able to facilitate these fights. It looks like for some reason, whether it's the money, whether it's the politics, we don't understand what's really going on from the outside looking in. All I know is one thing. If Eddie Hearn can't facilitate these fights, if he can't make it happen for Boots Ennis, why cut all that weight? Why put yourself through that where you're cutting down to 147 to compete in a division where you're not getting the maximum amount of money? You're not maximizing your profitability sitting in that division. You're not unifying down there, right? Eddie Hearn can't do it. Turkey Al-Sheikh has the money behind you. I'm hearing rumor is that Eddie Hearns is not offering it's over money, right? Eddie Hearn's not willing to pay but so much for these fights. Well, look, Boots was going through this over there with Cameron Duncan, over there at Showtime, when Showtime was up and going with Steven Espinoza and Cameron Duncan, all them, right? This is what he was going through. Everybody wants to get paid to fight Boots. Boots is a high risk and needs a matching high reward to match his risk in order for him to get the fights that he wants. If you're going to sign Boots Ennis, you have to know what that comes with. He's a lot of problems for a lot of people in boxing, period. At 147.9, he's going to give you the same issues as 154 pounds. If you're not willing to pay to play, don't sign Boots Ennis. Don't sign him. You're wasting everybody's time. He's a high risk, low reward fighter. Even with a title on his waist, he's still high risk, low reward. Because what he does to you is probably going to end you. Why? Because Boots hasn't earned the name for himself yet. He hasn't made himself into a star. He's not a Tank Davis. He's not a Canelo Alvarez. So you're going to get beat up real bad by, respectfully, a nobody, right? Respectfully. You're not going to get respect for getting knocked out by Boots Ennis, because Boots Ennis hasn't gotten any kind of accolades yet to make it to where it's like, if somebody gets knocked out, Frank Martin just got knocked out by Gervonta Tank Davis, right? What happened? Now he's talking about going to 140 pounds. He still gets the respect because everybody knows he got into the ring with the face of boxing. Although he got put to sleep in front of his family and friends and all of America and the whole entire world, he still comes out on the other side of that as must-see boxing because of the way he performed in the ring and who he performed against. You're not going to get that with Boots Ennis. You're just going to get your career ended, or you're going to have to do 2 to 5 fights that where you're dominating to regain the momentum you probably built to get yourself in the ring with him. So nobody wants to do that. Nobody's trying to do that with Boots Ennis. So if you're going to sign Boots Ennis, at the end of the day, you got to be ready to pay. You got to be ready to pay, especially when we're talking about title unification fights, right? Especially when we're talking about unifying the titles. Once you bring that conversation up, the money going to go up because now you're taking somebody's belt from them. The only leverage that they probably hold in their career right now with that belt, and it's going to be a 75-25% chance that Boots is going to take that belt off of him and probably doing it in a devastating way, right? So if Eddie Hearn is signing Boots Ennis and not taking this into consideration, then that's a lapse of judgment on his part. And you have to ask yourself at this point, if you're Boots Ennis, what do? You got a 3-fight deal with Matchroom. You got Turki Al-Sheikh, who's willing to pay for certain fights, not all the fights, right? Like Turki's not paying him to fight Karen, right? He probably would maybe put up some money against Brian Norman, but more than likely not. But you get Boots Ennis up in 154, we got some super fights up there, don't we, guys? Let's be honest. We got a lot of super fights up there for Boots Ennis. I mean, outside of the obvious Terrence Crawford and the obvious Tim Tszyu and the obvious Sebastian Fundora or Errol Spence's or Jermaine or Jamel Charlo. We got even the fights with the Brian Mendozas, the Erickson Lubinsons, the Jesus Ramos, the Charles Conwells, we can go down the list, right? Virgil Ortiz. So many big fights. So many big fights for him at 154 pounds. At this point in the game, you have a certain window of opportunity to capitalize when you're at your prime. How old is Boots Ennis, by the way? How old is Boots Ennis? Let's look him up. How old is Boots? Jaron Ennis. Let's see here. Let's see. Jaron Ennis is sitting at 27 years old. He's there, guys. He's there. He's into prime time in his career where he's going to be able to perform in front of the world. He's here. He's in the game when Turki Al-Sheikh is feeling very giving. He wants to make the biggest fights. You're going to get your biggest bag. You're going to be able to get on the biggest stages. You just got to get the right dance partner, Boots. And the right dance partner is not at 147. And maybe if you were down there, you unifying titles, maybe that would get it, right? You're unifying titles, you're this close to becoming an undisputed champion, you're building your pedigree up, you're building your market value up, fine. But if you are not able, if Eddie Hearn with his money can't get you those fights, it's time to have a team meeting. It's time to have a team meeting. And let's talk about what we're missing. What are we missing here? What are we missing? We're missing the train, guys. We're missing the train. Boots Ennis is putting his career on the line and missing the train right now if he's not taking some real thought into making his move to 154. Use that IBF belt that you have on your waist. Use it for some leverage. Do something with it. Leverage it against the winner between Tim Tszyu and Makramov and Bakram Makramov. Leverage it there. Get a fight there. Get into title contention right there at 154. Get in the conversation of undisputed at 154 pounds. That's what you do. That's what you do. If you're not thinking about doing that, I don't know what to tell you. At this point, I waited. I told you guys in the beginning, I said, all right, well, look, you're with Eddie Hearn now. You got Matchroom now. You're talking about going to undisputed. We want to see you at 154, but look, Eddie Hearn seems to be on the same page as you. I see you got Turki. So you're filling up the reward side, right? The risk is always there, but we thought that with Eddie Hearn and Turki Al-Sheikh that the rewards part of the conversation was going to be a box that got checked. Clearly, we were mistaken because how do you justify Brian Norman Jr. wanting to fight Boots Ennis, holding a WBO title around his waist that he's been upgraded to because Terrence Crawford went ahead and vacated the belt, and this fight not being made because of a couple $100,000. That doesn't make sense to me. You guys let me know. All right. Oh, we got Ray in the back. Ray's back here. Mary's back here.
Yeah, been a minute, but it's okay. I've been listening. Good talk.
I was going off, man. I was definitely going off. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I was definitely
I
going
hear
off.
you. I'm gonna tell you where I disagree with some of that talk, though, and
Go ahead.
it's okay. I think I agree with some of the people that are going to say, well, Brian Norman made maybe 150 grand or close to it his last fight for a championship. So he's not, you know what I mean, him getting a million or whatever the case may be, 750 million, that's a big jump. Him getting 1.5, that's like 100% more or something crazy, right? He only made 10% of that. That's 90% more, rather. 100% more. I'm lying. So why is it such a big deal for him to complain about the extra 500 million? I get it, but bro, you're making the most money you ever made. It's been, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like I get both sides. Yes, you deserve more, but you were offered less. They met you. You didn't like that. They came back and they brought that back to the table. You know what I mean? And they're like, yo, this is what we're offering. You're getting an opportunity of a lifetime. You're making more than you ever made in the last 6 or 7 fights you ever had. Why is it such a big deal to fight Boots at this level? Yeah, it looks bad on Boots' part because sometimes the streets are looking at the guy needing to make a fight, right? And they need him to make this fight because they want him to have the value. So it becomes that tank game we was talking about, getting in the way, like the bug game. So now he's in the way, and now he's like, yo, we ain't gotta wait for your bag. We can go get this bag somewhere else. So now Boots is in a dilemma. Like, do I, you know what I mean? Do I tell Eddie, yo, just get this dude the money, bro? Thank you. That's 500% more. So then that's crazy. But thanks, Blaze. But I'm just like, yo, if that's the case, Boots, either you're gonna have to sacrifice your bag and take a little less to make up for that, like Earl did, or you're gonna have to be like, yo, Brian, bro, you pricing yourself out. We're giving you the most money you ever had. Why are you coming at me? You know what I mean, over something crazy? That's, bro, I just can't. I just don't understand that. You know what I mean? It's the greed part. So to me, it sounds like Brian is pricing himself out if they're only making a small offer. Now, at the end of the day, I get it that you know what I mean, it's a title fight and whatever. He's bringing the same thing to the table, but he also is getting his biggest payday, and then he wants to get greedy with it. It kind of sounds like it's going the opposite end for me, but it's cool. I get it. I do understand what you're saying with the boost thing too, man, because he ain't gonna get this fighting opportunity at 147. He hasn't been getting it, so that's where I said it becomes that teeter totter. You know what I mean? Like now we got to weigh the scales. So come
Yeah.
off my bag a little bit and let me pay this dude so I get this fight because that's the only way I'm gonna get this fight and be legacy driven. Like he's just put in the chat, pop shop, salute. That's the only way he's gonna get that. You know what I mean? And I got you though. Like I said, I'm not trying to come at you. I just disagree on the part of this
Ain't
guy
about
making so much money after the facts.
let me
You know
tell
what I
you,
mean?
like I think there's truth. Obviously, I agree with what you're saying as far as like what the potential reasons are behind why this isn't happening and what's going on. But let me tell you, man, Boots Ennis is getting to a point in his career where he doesn't have time for the BS, bro. It don't even fucking matter no more, right? Like if Brian Norman wants to price himself out, then he's priced out, bro. What Boots has to take into consideration, his camp has to take into consideration is there's always going to be an example of this. Brian Norman's actually the one fighter who came closest from my point of view to actually getting into a fight with Boots. And you see how
You right?
you see he's motivated. You see he wants to get involved with the fight. But look, man, nobody's going to look at coordinating a fight with Boots Ennis with having a Turkey Al Sheik as somebody who they know is on his team, with Eddie Hearn, having Matchroom, having your back. They know that the budget is bigger now with Boots. This is
Mm-hmm.
not the same Boots I was fighting when Cameron Duncan and, you know what I'm saying, maybe had a limited budget, maybe, you know what I'm saying. This is about, he's with a big outfit right now in Matchroom. And Matchroom happens to have one of the biggest investors in the background kicking it. He's not natural, but he's there. Everybody knows he's
Okay.
within arm reach of Eddie Hearn, and he gets involved in the biggest fights. But let's be honest, fighting against Brian Norman Jr. isn't the biggest fight. It's not. It's the biggest fight at 147, but the Turkey Al Sheiks in the game, they want to see this guy at 154, bro. That's where they want Boots Ennis at. And Boots has to make a decision for himself. You're not Terrence Crawford, where Terrence Crawford kind of held it out there. And look, he was ready to walk away, a one-weight class undisputed champion, three-weight class
Right.
champion. He was ready to walk away from the game and have that and say, you know what, that's enough for me to be in the Hall of Fame, to be considered one of the greats in this generation. You don't have that yet. He's trying to build that for you. You're like 31, 32 fights into your career, 27 years old. You're at the prime of your career, and you need to go somewhere where the investors are willing to put money into it. They're going to want to see Boots in the ring with a Virgil Ortiz. They're going to pay to see Boots in the ring with a Brian Mendoza or even a Jesus Ramos or Charles Conwell or anybody at 154 will be a very interesting, exciting fight. And you'll have a lot of people interested in putting the money up. When you see Eddie Hearn not wanting to put the money up, what he's thinking about is the bottom line. He's like, as much as I know this is going to be a great fight stylistically, this is going to be like that Virgil Ortiz, Sergey Bohachuk fight. Nobody knows Brian Norman. Brian Norman is not a name, and we're not willing to shoot this dude $2 million, you know what I'm saying, just to get you a belt. We're not willing to do it because we don't think it's going to sell. It's not going to do a pay-per-view. It's going to have to be a free fight. We're already paying to do it in your home city in Wells Fargo, the Wells Fargo Center right there in Philadelphia. We want big fights.
Right.
This is about making the biggest fights possible. So Boots has to take that into consideration. Him and his team need to take that into consideration and realize that you can't force nobody to fight you. You can't force nobody to fight you, nor can you force anybody to knowingly and openly up front lose money. Who's going to go in and say, I know I'm losing money, but I'm going to pay this large amount of money any damn way just to get you what you want. We got 3 fights to make or break. Barbecue or mildew, shit on the pot or give the pot. We got 3 fights to make it happen before we can get back to the table and start talking about redoing contracts, you know what I'm saying, putting extensions in there. We got 3 fights to get it done. And look how we're pulling teeth right now to get this fight done with Brian Norman Jr. The other two guys aren't motivated to fight him at all. He's been trying to make fights with them at all. It's probably going to be a worse look with those guys. Boots got to take them.
That's what I was going to say. No, you're right. I was definitely going to say that. I was going to say, and that's where the punishment comes. Because if he pays Brian Norman, then he's going to have to pay Barrios more money. Stanionis probably not so much, but he's still going to have to give him a bag. And it reminds, this is where the genius of my thinking comes in. My thinking is I've been watching this pattern for a couple of years now. Seems like Bob Arum has been sitting in these manager meetings and saying, look, these guys have money. They want these fights. We need to make them pay. We just seen it with the Loma fight. I mean, we heard 2 different reasons, right? We heard him to step away from money. We also heard him to step away for his family, but we know they were at the table, right? So I would take the money side. That's just me being real. The Shakur thing, the 25%, that was on the table. They refused it 3 times or whatever the case may be. They made 3 different offers because they wanted the money. And I believe there was another instance where there was a exchange for money with a Bob Arum conversation. I believe it was with Oscar De La Hoya, and it was, again, you got to bring the money. You know what I mean? And it just seems like that team, whoever that matchmaker is, that team manager, or whoever they got over there at the top-ranked system, matter of fact, budgeted with Earl. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing. Does he deserve it? Yeah, because he didn't figure, but the mindset came from the top-ranked background. So if they say, yo, we can wait this out, or we can force him to give us more money because this guy wants to fight, Tank got you on his list, Ennis wants to fight somebody for a belt, and he wants to go undisputed, guess what? They got to pay. And they're going to pay for that. You know what I mean? And it seems that seems to be the case right now with a lot of things over there at Top Rank. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's an epiphany. It's just a thought.
Right. I mean, there's a lot. I think
that's a strong list, though.
There's a lot of thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you can hear it in my voice when I'm talking, the lack of, I don't have my Sherlock Holmes hat on tonight. You know what I'm saying? I don't care no more, right? Like, I don't care about why no more. I want to know at this point, what are you guys going to do? Because you're about to get in the ring. And shout out to Blaze. I think he said, Blaze says a Boots match with Karen makes sense. Boots took Karen's and now he has an opportunity to stop him and show his growth.
I agree.
Yes.
But it hurts.
Sometimes it hurts, bro. It's not now, bro. He just had this great performance against David Avanesian in front of this whole crowd, packed out the Wells Fargo Center, showed there what he can do. Nobody cares about Karen. Nobody needs nothing justified for Karen. If that's what it had to be and that's what it was, then that's what it would be. But it doesn't have to be that. There's a whole division at 154 waiting for this guy, man, for him to do his thing. What is he going to do? He's going to see games at 147, and then what's going to happen? Terrence is going to retire. Errol's going to retire. Sebastian Fundora might go up to 160 pounds because he's already too damn big for the damn division. You're going to get up there once again, miss your blessing by you know what I'm saying? Once again, do the same thing that's happened to you at 147. It happens at 154. Move now. Move now. F it. Don't just F it. Just move now. At least go have a fight there. Even if you want to still maintain and come back at 147, go back and forth. But go there and get a taste of some of that. Go get a taste of some of that and see what that's like.
One of my biggest arguments. You know that's one of my biggest arguments. You know that was the reason why I got my back kicked in. So you know that's one of my biggest arguments, and I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Because you can try to figure it out. You can offer more money and do that, or you could just go.
Right.
You could just go. Let's go now.
The money will be there.
With the kids, we out.
Right. The key is the money will always be there. The other option is it's not even so much of the money being there. Is let these kids over there grow. Guess what? Like you said, if you can still make the weight, go up there, get a couple of fights, get in position, and come down and fight those champions as they unify. Because Brian Norman's probably most likely going to be the guy that grabs 3 of those belts or 2 of those belts. And if you coming down and you become a star up there by beating some stars up there where there's more star potential, guess what happens? Your stock rises with his stock. So now the playing field is a lot more towards your side, and you don't lose that much. You know what I mean? If he beats a Charlo, or he beats a Bud, or he beats an Earl, he beats a Fedor, Tim Tszyu, Brian Mendoza, he beats a Madrimov, any of those guys, Virgil Ortiz, his stock raises. Even beating 2 of them raises. Now, when you come back down, and let's say Brian Norman, standing on his Barrios, any one of them got 2 or 3 belts, challenge them. Guess what happens? Now you can still be the boss of that division because you still had that stock. You have the names in your resume to say, I'm the A side. I still want this bag. Okay, you're going to get a little bit of it, but Eddie now knows the worth of that belt, them 2 belts or 3 belts or whatever the case may be, and that brings more to the table. And then you don't have to worry about all this nonsense. And you can still unify that belt or them belts and then move back up after you do that or focus on Undisputed down there. But at least you got a taste of what 154 felt like. You know you got some fights up there, and it does help. I do agree with the move. I think we had this we had this because we weren't arguing. We were arguing with the world, basically. We had this statement on Boots moving to 154 almost a year ago. I think it's been December or November, right?
It's been a long time.
We started. Now, yeah, it's been a while, right? Since we've been calling for that because we was like, yo, ain't nobody gonna fight this dude no more, bro. Like, just move up. Like, what are you wasting time for? And
get at it, bro.
Now we're at the point. Yeah, we're at the point where you're not getting the fights, and it's almost a year later from that point. So I understand where you're coming from, Clay, and I'm not going to discredit you. I just said I disagree because I just think the money thing is wrong with what Brian Norman is doing and what egg he's trying to lay out there.
Brian Norman has his career to worry about, and if he feels like he's worth more money, I'm not going to tell him he's worth less money, bro. I would wish, if you ask me, Brian Norman, and why would you ask me? But if for some reason you decide to ask me, I'd say, bro, take what they're giving you. If it's a 1.5, take the 1.5, bro, and fight, bro. Fight. Make one of the biggest fights in the game right now. If you're really confident in yourself and you really believe that you can beat Boots, then be more concerned about the fight happening than getting every single penny you think you got coming to you. There's people who have taken way less, right? Who have taken way less for much less, should I say? I don't know if I'm saying that right? Who taking less for less accolades. You're going to get an opportunity to be a unified champion at 147, be the big dog in the champion, the only unified champion in the division, right? Right there, and you'll be able to do great things and ask for way more money once you get that. But don't let this opportunity go by. But at the same time, I'm speaking for Boots right now. Boots, this has been a long journey to get to this point. You went and made the move to Matchroom. You got Turkey, who got the money behind you. You got Eddie Hearn. You got Eddie Hearn who's promoting you and putting the work in and making you who you want to be. And they can't get the fight for you, bro. They can't get it without spending a bunch of damn money. They clearly don't want to spend on that fight. 154. 154. Right. I'm hearing rumors. I hear people from your camp say you're going to be even more of a terror at 154 than you ever was at 147. You're just going to get stronger. You're going to keep your speed. Your IQ is going to be there, and you're going to get involved in some big fights and be able to get yourself where you need to be. The whole world's going to shake up the moment you do this, and I have a feeling you're going. I know within the next month, I'm foreseeing this happening. Right? I'm foreseeing this happen. 154. When that happens, watch how the whole space shakes up, because now 154, the 154-pound weight class division will become the best division in boxing, the most lit, just with that one piece missing. Will become the best division in boxing, just with that one piece missing. So that, I mean, that's what I'm saying. At this point, I waited. This point, I said, all right, let's see what happens. You see what's happened. You're about to go fight Karen, bro. That's what's about to happen. You're about to fight Karen again in Philadelphia, bro. That's what's about to happen. Nobody wants to see that fight, and I've seen Boots don't want to see that fight. He said it in his interview that he wasn't happy about it. You don't want to fight this guy again. Nobody on your team wants to fight this guy again, because you remember what he did last time. He ran the whole damn time all the way around the ring. It wasn't even about the fight being competitive or whatever. It was just for you, the kind of fighter you are. That's a trash fight. You know it is. Let me read some of these statements in here, man. Some of these comments. I know I've been ignoring you guys. Let me shout out everybody. Just make sure I hit everybody up. Shout out Sonny Augustine. Shout out Mike James. Shout out AK Crowd in the building. CJ Esperon. Salute Blaze, of course. Let's see. Ari AK Crowder, Pop Shop Talk, Legacy Over Currency. Salute to everybody in the building. All right, let's see here what we got in some of these comments here. Let's start right here at the bottom. Now we got Sonny Augustine here. It says Norman Jr. versus Boots. The fans needs that Claymore. That boy will fight Philly in front of his own neighborhood liquor store and bodega. I think it's a great fight. I want the fight. I'll be there in Philadelphia if that fight happens. I've already talked to Blue about it. Like, that's already in stone. Like, if that fight happens, that's where we're going. We're going to Philly to go catch that fight. That's happening. You know what I mean? But it take two to make a thing go right. That's what I'm saying. It take two. And if Norman ain't on board, Boots should not. I'm not going to say cannot. Boots should not be fighting anybody but people with titles at 147 right now. That's who, because he needs to get on a fast track to get undisputed, so he can get to 154. He don't need to fight no damn Karen. He doesn't have nothing to prove to that dude, bro. He has nothing. And he's with the IBF. He's with the IBF right now. If he doesn't fight Karen Kukudashian, they're going to strip him. They're going to take that belt off.
Right.
Mike
and you know what's crazy?
Michael James. As soon as he got the belt, I thought he should have started leveraging the fight at 154. 100%, Michael James.
Absolutely. We said that because IBF was vacant at the time. That would have been a perfect opportunity. I think that's what started this whole conversation with me and you and you know who. It was a vacant title. So I was like, yo, he can move right in position. He can go up there, be that number one guy, or at least the guy fighting the number one guy, because there was actually no number one or number two at the time for the IBF. So he could just move right up and just fought somebody and got the title. It was available. That's what I thought. That's why I was shocked. But then they just been stuck on this whole premise of, I gotta be undisputed at 147. That is already done. Like, don't try to repeat history. Start history. 154 is a tough division, and then it's groundbreaking for 160. You know what I mean? And then you making weight easy. You can stay at 154, go back down and do that, because you know the players are going to come up from 140 as soon as you leave, because nobody wants to see you, and you know that the people who are there are going to start fighting each other. So somebody's going to grab 2 or 3 belts, and you can go challenge that person. Especially if you got a WBO, you grab the WBO, bro. That's up and down. You can move a division up, division down, and challenge whoever got that belt and get in the way. You know what I mean? That's an easy move, an easy task. So him moving the way he's moving is crazy. I think I was just like, I don't understand why they're staying there. I was on that level before. I think he just needs to come out of his pockets on his own of that bag. He needs to tell his promoter, Mr. Eddie Hearn, like, yo, listen, take the 500 out my bag. I need to get these belts. If we don't make this happen, then I'm out. You know what I mean? You're not doing what you did. You're violating the contract agreement, because you're getting me fights, but you're not getting me the fights that you told me for towards undisputed. Because I remember him saying that he wants to get undisputed. This is Eddie's interview. He wants to get undisputed, and we're going to do everything in our power to do so. It doesn't seem like you're doing everything. Yes, you're offering this guy more than he ever made, but the guy wants more. Give him that, and that's it, and cap it out. But like, yo, that's it. All right, we're gonna do it, or just meet him in the middle. Like, yo, all right, 1.85. That's it. We ain't going no higher. Still more than he ever made. It's closer to the bag he want. Or give him 1.5 and some money on the back end. Like, make a deal somehow where you're going to get something. You know what I mean? He's going to get entitled to getting closer to that 200, because that's where it seems to come down. That they just, I mean, not 200, 2 million. That's where it seems to come down to, is that he just wants that 2 million. and he's not going to do it unless that. I mean, like I said, it's a catch-22. I would hate to be Boots right now because when you lay your hand down, right? Well, I say never let the left hand know what the right hand's doing. When you lay your hands down, everybody can see your cards. They don't have to call your bluff anymore. It's right there. You know what I mean? There's no point in playing poker if you have no poker face. It's crazy.
Yeah, Boots. It's time for Boots to make a decision. Him and his team to make a decision. Not me personally. I've seen enough. I'm ready to see you at 154. At this point, we'll see what happens. If you fight Karen Kukudacha next just to keep that IBF belt, oh well, I guess that's what you choose to do. Legacy over everything, bro. I understand, bro. Legacy over everything. Good luck. Hope that works out. And I'm saying we'll be there to watch it regardless. You know what I mean? Good luck. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? I'll be a little disappointed on the low because I just feel like I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not faithful right now that Undisputed is there for you at 147, but feel free to make me eat my words. Feel free to make it happen and show me what determination and consistency can do. I'm here for the lesson. Salute.
That's my twin. That's my oldest right there.
No doubt. You know what I mean? Salute.
Me with hair.
For sure. What King Sukahuna Boots looks like the lights get to him. I don't know about that. I think I can see what you're saying. If you're saying what I think you're saying, which is when the lights turn on, he wants to put on a big show and he gets kind of loses the discipline a little bit, takes more chances and wants to perform. I'll say it that way. But if it's like it makes him go into a shell or it makes him, you know what I mean, not fight, you know, like he can't perform. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say. Then I gotta disagree. I think he feeds off the lights. He has to be calmed down. Lights make him kind of get out. Hey, bro, calm down. I know you're in the lights, but you know what I mean. Focus on the fundamentals. Let's not get caught with nothing we don't need to get caught with.
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh at that one. I don't know who Sukuna is. I know who Sukuna is in Jujutsu Kaisen. You know what I mean? That's an anime character. So I think it's kind of weird that somebody got that name up here and they subscribe. But hey, you know what? They might like anime. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's cool, but you know.
Yeah. Shout out to Real X Deal X92 in the building. Did Norman Jr. price himself out? Listen, it looks like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna put the blame on the one person over the other one. Yes, it looks like Brian Norman Jr. is asking for more money than, I think that's what it comes down to right now, that he's asking for more money than Eddie Hearn is willing to pay out. You know, at the end of the day, if they want this fight to happen, somebody's gonna have to give, right? And the person, everybody is responsible for themselves. So in other words, Boots Ennis is responsible to make a decision as to whether or not he's willing to concede some of his purse to make Brian Norman Sr. and Jr. whole so that this fight can happen. But at the same time, Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr. need to come to a conclusion as to whether or not they're willing to concede some of their purse as well to allow the fight to be made whole, to allow Eddie Hearn and Matchroom to be made whole so that this fight can be made, whether Boots is willing to give up his or not, right? So both gentlemen need to decide how important this fight is for both of them. And once they can get to that conclusion, then they both have to understand that, all right, we both are going to have to concede in some way or another. It can't, if this money doesn't happen because of the money, the fight doesn't happen because of the money, then in my opinion, both fighters have priced themselves out. Both fighters have priced themselves out of this fight because they both have the power to manipulate the numbers based on what they're getting to make the other fighter whole and want to fight, right? So both sides get the blame. I'm not even trying to put the blame on one over the other, man. I'm really not at this point. Let me see.
Yeah, I know. I got you. That makes sense. But on the other hand, I do. I mean, when you make 100 times less, 10% of that. You know what I mean? If somebody give you 100 times more than what you made in your last fight when you won the belt, bro, and you making excuses for that?
It's definitely Brian Norman definitely has, but at the same time, I can point it right back at Boots and say, you've been waiting this long talking about you hanging out there wanting to get disputed. Right. You got it in front of you. You're gonna let this guy walk away and choose to fight Karen Kukudachi in Philadelphia in front of everybody rather than give up some of that bread and get that damn fight at this point in your career. So both of them need to get a finger in their face and a shame on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's an A side, it's an A duck and a B duck.
100%. I should have put that on the thumbnail. A duck, B duck. Mr. Big Play said, I think Top Rank is playing games. 2 old men. Bob just doesn't let the belts leave Top Rank. I mean, maybe that is a Top Rank game being played. But you know what though? At the end of the day, Boots has a decision to make. Shout out to Ryan Frazier
Ryan for becoming
becoming
a
a new
member.
member. I thought you was already a member, Ryan. That's
I
what's
thought
up,
so
bro.
too. You know what happens? These things they expire, and like they'll tell you to renew, Clay, and then the thing goes away, so you can't even click it unless you go back in there. So I didn't even know mine expired. I had got a notification when I read mine
Oh,
in my
okay.
email.
No doubt, no doubt. Salute Ryan Frazier in the building. Salute, King. Yeah, man. So anyway, we don't got a lot of time tonight. I'm not standing on here on that. I want to get on to the next topic, which is the Terrence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence love triangle, right? That's going on right now. So as you guys know, right, we all know what happened. The WBO standing on business came out and said, listen, we're ordering Terrence Crawford and Sebastian Fundora to go ahead and fight for this WBO title. And obviously, you know, we already knew since Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu had their fight where Sebastian Fundora came out as a win that Terrence Crawford had activated a mandatory. The WBO activated mandatory on behalf of him, sent through a letter saying, listen, after this fight, X amount of months, X amount of days, we're expecting this fight to go into either purse bid or you guys can negotiate and figure out when this fight's going to happen. Now, a lot of content creators going to paint this, oh, I predicted this. I told you guys. I don't know what you guys are talking about, bro. This was clear as day from the jump.
Sure.
Clear as day.
Already in motion.
Yeah, clear as day from day one that this was happening. Sebastian Fundora didn't even get to leave the damn press conference. He didn't even get to take his belt home before one of those reporters told him, so what's he going to do about this WBO mandatory? They're talking about stripping you if you don't fight Terrence Crawford. He looked over at Samson Leibowitz and said, what in the world these dudes talking about right now? And he's like, we'll talk about that later. And the guy's like, nah, yeah, so the WBO is going to take your title. You need to fight him. And they were like, well, we want to fight Errol Spence, right? So what happened? He said he had a broken nose. He couldn't defend the belt. So the WBO froze themselves. Said, all right, we're going to freeze everything right now. Wait for you to get better in order to put this fight. But what we'll do is we'll put Terrence Crawford as the interim WBO champion, right? We'll put him as an interim. When you get on point, you guys are going to be meeting up. So all that's happened right now is the WBO has stepped up, seen that Sebastian Fundora is ready to make a fight, and said, listen, this is the fight you need to make. In the midst of what? Sebastian Fundora supposedly trying to coordinate a fight with Errol Spence, right, for December. Pack out Dallas Cowboy Stadium. Now, he probably didn't try to get away with one, but I can tell you the WBO wasn't trying to hear it one way or the other. The WBO promptly put the letter out there and said, yeah, no, Terrence Crawford, or we're taking that belt from you. And that's what it comes down to. And as far as Terrence Crawford's position, Terrence Crawford is in the best position that he could be in this whole conversation. Terrence Crawford is the one who's sitting nice. I hear some people talking about Terrence has been cornered and he's getting frozen out and now he has no choice. I don't know what people are talking about. But let's talk about Terrence Crawford's position right now. Let's talk about the position that Terrence Crawford's in. Terrence Crawford is the WBO mandatory right now, has an interim title for the WBO, and Sebastian Fundora will either fight him, at which point Terrence Crawford will be able to fight for not only the WBO title, but the WBC title that Sebastian Fundora is sitting on to make him a one belt shy of a 4-belt undisputed champion at 54 pounds. Or the worst case scenario is Sebastian Fundora lets the belt go. Terrence Crawford gets the WBO title, but you guys should remember, and you already know, Mauricio Suleiman, God bless him, right, said, what? Listen, we're going to make you champion in recess at 147. We're going to give you the mandatory shot at the WBC title at the winner between Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence. So he'll go into that fight with the leverage as the unified champion to fight whoever is holding that WBC title, who's ever left the last man standing in that fight between Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence. He'll have that opportunity in front of him, right? They'll have that opportunity in front of him to become a three-belt unified champion at 154. He has those options. That's just in that situation. And then obviously Canelo Alvarez has put out something recently saying that fight with him and Terrence Crawford isn't completely off the table. It's just that he doesn't want to discuss that right now while he's getting prepared for Edgar Berlanga. So we never know what can happen with that. We also have Turki Al-Sheikh, who's already said that he's ready to go ahead and fund the Virgil Ortiz fight between them. And that's going to be money right there. And then, of course, Terrence Crawford always has the ultimate choice, which is he can retire and be a 2-weight class undisputed champion and a 4-weight class unified champion, right? If he doesn't like the way that things are looking. So there's no pressure on Terrence Crawford to do anything, sitting in a great position. Most people would die to be in his position. Most fighters would die to be in his position. There's no escaping his wrath. You're either going to fight him or get a fair chance at getting, you know what I'm saying, at defending your titles, or you're going to sit by idly and have your titles stripped from you and hand over to Terrence Crawford. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do, right?
Listen, that dude, yeah. I was gonna say he moves in the right. He's in the right spot. But like I
Right?
said, all three sanctions really that fight is really on his side. You know what I mean? Even with the Virgil winning that interim belt, it put him in a title eliminator fight for the WBC in that last fight too. So that like it's so many round robins for Bud right now. So he don't even have to he can win a WBO as an email champion and still get an opportunity at the winner of that fight because he's got the WBC title eliminator fight. So that's already played in his hands as well. And Tim Tszyu wants to fight him. He's been begging to fight Terrence. So again,
Exactly.
he can go that direction and be like, yo, Virgil, you go take care of that because I'm gonna come get that from you. Or vice versa. You know what I mean? You get an opportunity at this. Go fight Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu, I'm going over here, fight for the WBC. You know what I mean? And we can meet in the middle. You get an opportunity for undisputed. You know what I mean? It's just so many ways that can play out, and of course, you know what I mean. Like the ball's in his court, unfortunately. So everybody that's saying that he's just doing this and doing that. I literally was on a panel today where a lot of people were saying that, you know, Bud is just picking it. He's taking on a bad fighter. I was like, no, there's no way. I said I don't think it's him. I mean, I don't even think Fedora is a bad fighter. First of all, if you're a champion, you're just no way you're a bad fighter. Yeah, you got knocked out by Ron Mendoza, and that's another fighter that took a loss and got a title
And a
shot.
fight
So
that he was dominating until he got clipped. He was dominating.
right. You know what I mean? So that's another situation like that. I think it was a pretty even fight though. I don't think it was domination, but it's cool. That's opinions. Earl Spence, another fighter off.
I won't say dominating. I'm gonna say he was winning. At that,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Definitely think that. But I think Earl Spence, another fighter that could possibly win, coming off a loss. Bad loss to the same guy that he could possibly fight in Earl Spence, coming off of that. So it's so many obstacles. Like I said, the ball's in his court. He know if he fights Earl, he's going to get that bag. So I'm pretty sure he's got Earl. If that fight doesn't happen, he gets rewarded the belt. He's got Earl on his agenda because that's the bigger fight for him. And that brings the money to the table because now he becomes a 2-belt champion. So now the money's on his side, even though the A side probably still will be Earl based on popularity. It becomes on his side. So it's going to get there, bro. We're going to have a lot to talk about when this happens, which way the decision goes. I'm just, like I said, I'm just proud of Terrence. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of the sport, but I'm proud of somebody getting the opportunity and not getting shafted, though he receives a lot of hate. And the guy's worked hard for this. He broke away from Bob to go chase dreams. You know what I mean? Shakur's doing the same thing, but yet these guys are getting their backs kicked in, and it's funny that it's starting to move. The wheels are turning in their way, so that's dope.
No doubt, man. Definitely. So we'll see how that pans out over there. A lot of options for Terrence Crawford. The pressure right now is all on Sebastian Fundora. It's really on his head right now to make a decision on what he wants to do. I'm hearing that the team is pretty much split up in half when it comes to this. I hear that Samson Leibowitz side of the conversation wants to get involved with the turkey money. They would like Sebastian to fight Terrence Crawford, but I'm hearing Sebastian Fundora's immediate team members and maybe the PBC as well are interested in coordinating that fight with Errol Spence, right? And have that put together. And they'd rather have him vacate the titles, right? Rather than then get into that shit. I'm trying to see if I had that video, but I don't. I must have let it go. Yeah.
Well, the Leonard Ellerby, that's family, bro. We take care of family over here. Yeah. Okay.
Come and join us right here.
No, that's not it. I don't have it no more. I don't have it in here. Oh, that sucks. It is what it is, right? Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Listen, you already gave him a taste. You might as well play that one. Earl coming there, the show. You might as well give him a taste.
Errol, come and join us right here.
Hey, what's going on?
You said you would like to fight the winner of this fight. Well, here he is. What do you have to say?
I was trying to get it on. He got the big dog now. Let's go.
Right. That was Errol, staking his claim to that fight, trying to undercut Terrence Crawford. And, Terrence was at home, didn't even come to the event, was like, yeah, that's funny. All right, well, you get to fight him as long as he comes off that WBO title. I ain't got no issues at all. See you guys later. And then obviously later on,
I'm laughing at Samson.
Yeah.
Did you see Samson in the corner there laughing and like, yeah, we're getting that bag? Yeah. It's funny how the money moves, right? And then they go a different direction.
Yeah.
Just
Smoke Clybell Smoke.
Yeah. Salute.
You know him?
Yeah, he was in one of the chats. I talked to him earlier today. Very, I like people's opinions. We welcome all. No casual conversations. But if you are one, not you, Smoke. I'm just saying, anybody in the chat, if you are casual, we'll try to steer you away from that. We want you to be a boxing fan first, and that's it. You know what I mean? We're not the casual committee over here.
No doubt. So what else is happening? Because we're going to be wrapping it up soon. I don't plan on staying long.
Did you talk about Zepeda?
All right. So Williams, I was actually going to bring that up. So William Zepeda is so what's going on with William Zepeda? What's the story with him right now? I mean,
I thought he was waiting for his baby to be born. What's going on here? Do I smell fricassee?
So what's the fight? What's the fight that he has? What's going on? Let me pull it up here because I think I saw it on here.
Supposedly he's supposed to be fighting Kambosos, bro. Supposedly it's Kambosos. In November, which is weird because he didn't want to miss his kids being born or something, and now he's fighting Kambosos in November to take a tune-up before he fights Shakur.
Yeah, November 16th, he's fighting Kambosos. Yep, that's what's going on. So, I mean, he's either going to fight Kambosos or Tevin Farmer. It's one of the two.
That's still
November 16th. It's going to be
two guys off a loss, right?
Yeah, two guys coming off of a loss. That's Oscar De La Hoya's messy work right there. I don't care what nobody says. That's Oscar De La Hoya right there being messy as hell, bro. Trying to pick up some money, trying to get Zepeda involved with the Saudi with the Saudi money, right? And saying, you know what? Let's go ahead and put Kambosos or Tevin Farmer. Why? Because Turkey was at the fight where he saw Tevin Farmer fight Raymond Mortala, right? And he didn't like the way that card turned out, right? He didn't like the way that fight turned out. So he's giving Tevin Farmer a chance, or he wants to fight Kambosos because Kambosos is known by the UK, right? He's known in the UK. He thinks he's big, sort of like on that same level as the Joe Cordina, Shakur Stevenson, like coming off of a loss, but everybody knows who he is, so they're willing to put him on the card out there. Let me see here. Ryan Fraser said, why Eddie say Norman dropped the ball? So if Norman gets another belt, does Eddie know the price will only go up? Yeah. I'm telling you, if they don't make this fight happen, Ryan, take Boots to 154. There's no reason even to have him hanging it, because you're right. That's another reason. If he goes and gets another belt, if Norman goes and unifies with a Stanionis or unifies with a Mario Barros and able to collect one of those belts, me and Blue, we were talking about it today early on the show. Listen, bro, it's just going to be an uphill battle for sure at that point, because now the leverage that Boots has is going to be removed, because now he's going to be the one belt guy fighting against a unified guy. So you either make this fight happen with Brian Norman Jr. or you make up your mind and you move out of 154. Yeah, Saudi Arabia is a lucrative opportunity for Zepeda, very similar to the Shakur Stevenson situation. And why didn't Zepeda fight Shakur Stevenson? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You know what I mean? Is he a duck? Is he a duck? Is Zepeda a duck of Shakur Stevenson? I'm not going to call him a duck. I'm not going to
call him. I think his team is definitely. Well, hold on. Did he say he was having his baby, or did Oscar announce he was going to his baby? Who announced that?
I mean, maybe he is having a baby.
Was
maybe
his team or him?
I know, but the baby.
Well, his wife, rather. Let's be respectful. Right. So what I'm saying is if it's his team announcing this, or is it him that made the announcement? Because I think it's his team that made this announcement, and I believe that strongly. And I think that his team is playing mind games and playing these tricks. Because I think what happened, in my opinion, I think they was like, "Yo, what does your title say? Chess, not checkers." Oh yeah, we're gonna make y'all work for this. You and Tank gonna have to work for this. Loma got out the way. Zepeda got out the way. Nobody wants to mess with them guys right now. And I'm not saying like to that point. They're just trying to make them. They're trying to make them collide. So one of them take that L first, so it's one less of them to fight instead of having to fight both of them. That's what it's coming down to. Chess, not checkers.
And
You know what
look,
I mean?
and
And everybody got mad. Everybody got mad at Devin for fighting Kambosos for 3 belts when he only had 1. But guess what? It's about to happen again because you'll see a lot of this happening, man. It's getting crazy.
I think the Zepeda
The
situation
question
is.
is,
Yeah, Mr. Big Play Brace said, question is this Eddie decision or Boots decision? Do you think Eddie trying to push Boots to 154? I'm gonna tell you how I look at it right now, because I remember when I first talked about this last week, when I looked at it and I was like, damn, this is like what does my man Two Tone say? This is musty work, right? It's musty out here,
musty
respectfully.
energy.
Musty energy right now. And I looked at Eddie Hearn a little bit with the eye, like, yo, God, Eddie, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Are you trying to pull something here? What's going on, Eddie? I gotta examine you close, get the magnifying glass on you, see what you up to. But I'm gonna tell you where I'm at with it, man. I think Eddie Hearn, ever since that Devin Haney situation of him investing into events that didn't really make him money and hoping to get something in return later, like I'm going to show you love now and get love, and you can show me love later. I think he's done with that, right? And I think he's more focused on his ROI. I think he has to answer to the matchroom people, to his to the zone people. He has to speak to them and explain to them why it makes sense to put money behind these events, and he has to show them returns that make sense. And I think there's a dollar. I think there's a dollar amount that makes sense where the zone makes money and matchroom makes money, and there's a dollar amount that doesn't make sense that actually makes them lose money. And I think Eddie Hearn's done with losing money. And I think he's in a place, especially with Boots, where he's like, Boots, it's very similar to Devin Haney. Like Devin Haney wanted him to do the same thing with Sandor Martin. Pay for the Sandor Martin fight, and then I promise you I'll do this other shit. Nah, bro, do the other shit right now. There's no money right here in 157, because the only way we can get these unified title fights going is if we pay an exorbitant amount of money, because nobody wants to fight you for the low money. But it's not worth it, because nobody who's in the 147-pound division has a name or face or any type of marketability to help us bring that money. You have some sellability, but you're not big enough star like a Tank or Canelo Alvarez where you could just fight a dude at the truck stop and still sell tickets. We need to have the right dancing partner for you. And there's nobody at 147 who's giving that type of energy. So I think that's where Eddie Hearn is at. Eddie Hearn's in that space where it's like, it's not about I'm pushing him to 154. It's about, we can make these fights at 147, but it's not an unlimited bank account on these fights happening. We want return.
And I'm glad you actually touched on that. I don't know if you and Blue discussed this earlier. Again, I had to drop my phone for a little bit into the charging port, so I had to step off the channel. But I don't know if you know this, but back in the day, Eddie Hearn owed an absorbent amount of money to the zone. And guess who broke the bank? Mr. Canelo Alvarez. Saul broke the bank so bad that they were upside down. They almost canceled Eddie Hearn in Matchroom. It ended up being that his dad came and saved the day and put the big lump sum back in there, and the fights got better. They started signing better fighters. They started getting better fights on the deal, putting better cards together, and things of that nature. Even Turkey coming in, saving the day as well. So the money's getting a little better over there, but the issue is that's why they actually, if nobody knows, that's why they went from a free app to pay-per-view or monthly then pay-per-view, because they broke the bank and they had to pay all that money back. So nobody wants to go through that, and I get what you're saying. Eddie don't want to go through that again. He don't want to lose a network based on that, especially when PBC is jumping from network to network, Top Rank may be jumping from network to network, and they can all end up on the zone, and that could leave Matchroom out in wilderness to dry with nobody no channel to fight on but their own, or an app, as they say. So we don't want to see that. So we want to actually just acknowledge that Eddie is one of those guys that say, I learn from my mistakes. Failure is a good thing. If I don't fail, I don't grow. So he's growing. Boots has to understand that, but Boots has to understand also that he's failed. He's failed to make fights in the division. So it's time to grow. Only way you're going to grow is to go to the division where you can get fights. They've been saying this for a long time. We all know this for a long time. We've been making a strong point on this for a long time. Make it happen, man. People want to see him and Bud. They've been screaming for that fight. You know it. You hear the fans. So you know that's a big fight. You know people will pay to see that fight. That's a lucrative fight. That's going to bring some return on investment. That's going to push some money. Bro, everybody will take that. They want to see Boots versus Tim Zoo. Another great fight. You know what I mean? So we have a large opportunity. I mean, I can go down the list. You actually went over the list earlier. I heard you. You know what I mean? Of all 154. So he can go any of these divisions, and from top to bottom, it's nothing but hard nosed fighters in those divisions. So it's not like he's going to get easy work up there. He's going to have some good challenging fights. He's going to develop. He's going to get his skills sharpened, and then we'll get to see him with the big fights. Like I said, and it helps propel him to the next division, which would be 160, which he can also be unified, making him two-time unified champion if he can do both and capture one undisputed at 154.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But yeah, so I mean that's the breakdown, right? William Zepeda looks like he's trying to make a fight between Tevin Farmer or between Tevin Farmer or Kambosos. We'll see how that turns out. That's going to be on a Saudi card. How does this affect the Shakur Stevenson situation at all? As far as Shakur planning on fighting, no, I think it lands close enough to where they can still meet each other in February. Zepeda and Shakur should still be able to meet in February. So Zepeda gets a fight where he gets to get busy. He gets to get busy and make some money. Shakur has his fight October 12th where he gets to get busy and make his money. They come back, meet up at in February, do what they do, and the winner of that between them get a shot at Tank Davis. You know what I mean? Get the unification with Tank Davis, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. I do think it's weird though that Zepeda all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, is going to get active. But look, man, we can't help those things, right? So the end of the night, the end of the night, Boots Ennis should go to 154. That's what we've been saying. That's what we're going to keep on pushing, because until we see something different, some unification title fights, I don't see no reason to believe he's going to get it. Maybe he can show us. That's what's up. But he should go to 154. Terrence Crawford is sitting lovely, waiting on Sebastian Fundora to make a decision on what he's going to do. He's got plenty of options in front of him. He can retire. He can fight Virgil Ortiz for the bag. He can wait for Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spencer fight and fight with the winner of that for the bag. He could fight Tim Tszyu. If Tim Tszyu gets through a back run, which everybody I think is thinking he is, that the probable chances of it happening are very high. He could fight him for that IBF title. He's that close to being undisputed. I think undisputed is very realistic for Terrence Crawford right now at 154. I think it's very achievable in a handful of fights, right? And then, of course, we spoke about, I told you guys about Diego Pacheco fighting Sulecki this weekend. A big, important fight, in my opinion, an important fight at 168-pound weight class division that's lost David Morrell, lost David Benavidez. Edgar Berlanga is getting ready to fight Canelo Alvarez to become a champion. Who's gonna be the next guy? Who's going to be in the sweepstakes? Is it going to be Jaime McGee again? Is it going to be Caleb Plant for the sequel? Is it going to be Christian M. Billy? Or it could be Diego Pacheco if he puts on the proper performance right now in this fight on Saturday. And, of course, Keyshawn Davis and Gustavo Lima. Listen, that fight is going to be potentially candidate for Fight of the Year. I'm telling you guys. Remember I told you guys about the Sergey Bohacov and the Virgil Ortiz fight? And I told you guys that fight had the elements to do it. This is another one of those fights, bro. Keyshawn Davis and Gustavo Limas has Fight of the Year written all over it. I don't know. It's not guaranteed. It could be a boring fight. But listen, bro, you got two guys. You got Keyshawn who's going to stand his ground, go for his counter punches. He'll fight on the inside. He'll do it. And then you got Gustavo Limas, who's not going to keep coming. He's not going to stop coming forward. He's going to keep coming forward, keeping his head. He got short arms, bro. He has to. He's got to do the Eastside Cruise. You know, move your head, get in, and let hooks off to the body, followed up with hooks up top on top of his head. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be a great fight. That's supposed to be for November 8th. It's going to be a Friday night fight, right? We also have at the end of next month, we've got Xander Zayas and Shushu Carrington, who's going to be showing up at Madison Square Garden. They're going to be in some pretty decent fights as well. So look, we got some good fights coming up, and of course, the big one right now that looks like it's going to be breaking records in England, right? You have Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. I heard that pretty much damn near sold out already. I've heard that they've had to open up a new tier. They're anticipating over 80,000 people, bro, in the building to see that fight, bro. 80,000. That's crazy, bro. They love it.
Heavyweights get the most money, bro.
Yeah, but they're
heavyweights make the most money.
They're loving boxing right now in the UK, bro. Especially heavyweight boxing, like you said, they're loving it, bro. Packing out 80,000 people in an arena, bro. That's crazy. So
that's crazy. That's a college football stadium, bro. That's crazy,
bro. The people in there cannot even see the fight, bro. You can't even see the fight. What you doing there? You can't. Right. You got to look at the Jumbotron. You can't. There's too many. You're back like 30, 40, 50. rolls back, you're not seeing the fight, bro. You're not seeing the fight, bro.
It'll be
You're just
selfie mode, so you can say you were there.
Yeah. And we can't
You know
tell
what I
whether
mean?
you're there.
Look, I'm here. I can't see, but look, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Intensely crazy.
Yeah, no, that's dope. There's so much going on, man. We got, like you said, it's a lot going on. That Magia, I think Magia fights this Diego Pacheco next. Excuse me. Whew. My bad. I think that might be a fight that may happen next after if David Pacheco is successful. I think we could see that happening, possibly being that that's a zone fighters.
And Billy could be part of it too. But
I don't see him Billy fighting any of these guys. I think if anything, he'll fight Pacheco. I think Magia. But I think Magia's got his eyes set on Pacheco or possible Caleb Plant. Because I think those two fights will get him solidified. You know what I mean? That separates him from the rest of the bunch. That puts him in the category of the next fight. And I think we can see that fight somewhere around Christmas, if not early next year in January, right? A New Year's Day type bash thing. But we'll see that. But salute for real. But we're gonna have to see, bro, how this turns out, because I'm telling you, there's gonna be some magic happening in the air. Boxing is great. Boxing, I told you, boxing has been bad. People hate me for saying it. I don't like the guy either, but thank you for bringing the casuals back to the space, because they've been out there still in fights, but they still watch them, and we talking about it. That's all we got to say. I mean, thank you, Jake Paul, and your fake. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like Jake Paul. Just messing with you. I don't like him. I like his MVP network thing, his little promotional thing. But him doing that that kickoff with KSI, man, back in the day, Clay. That's what a lot of casuals in the space, because I remember I was talking boxing, and all I heard was people talking about Jake Paul and KSI. I'm like, who are these dudes? There's some YouTubers. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then next you know, did you see the fight? I'm like, no. Who are these people? Then I see Logan Paul fighting Floyd, and I'm like, okay, these guys are really trying to bring something back. But they started to bring boxing to the casual fan base, and now people are starting to get entertained for the 6 and 9, 8 ounce gloves that they put on to get in that ring. You know what I mean? And we just got to give them a shout out for that little early 2022 shine there. Give that man some shine for that. You know what I mean? I don't mind. But at the end of the day, boxing is on its return. The numbers are growing, the fans are growing again, and we have to show love to them, man. We got to put boxing first. Boxer second, definitely, but boxing first. Then become the fan. No tool holsters here, bro. Clay, you see me right there in the chat, even though you said it first.
Salute to everybody in the building, man. Salute, Ray. Thank you guys for showing up. Listen, man, it is a short live. Got things going on tomorrow. You guys know this is my Sunday fun day. Tomorrow we get back to the grind. Look out for me on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays with Blue Blood. You guys already know how we're carrying it. And of course, those Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday nights we're on here. This week's been a little bit of a shaky week, but we'll get it back together next week. I appreciate all you guys showing up, man. Remember, on your way out the door, hit your like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And at this point, we out.
Give me places, water no blood, like we trading the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far to myself. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. I had to boss them. I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate.